Okay. Good morning, students. Hello, friends. Welcome to Ashoka Online Academy. My name is Avinash. We are discussing the daily current affairs in the Ashoka Online Educational Platform. So, today we will discuss about the 27th and 28th August 2021 current affairs for UPSC Civil Service exam and also the TSPSC Group 1, Group 2, APPSC Group 1, Group 2 examinations. So, friends, follow these current affairs programs regularly so that it will be helpful for you in your competitive exam preparations. Definitely, if you follow these current affairs, you will get few of the extra points, okay, that you don't know in your preparation, okay, schedule daily. So see here, follow this current affairs regularly and subscribe to this particular channel so that you will get the notifications about the current affairs. So every day morning before 8 o'clock in your inbox there will be a current affairs video posted in this particular Ashoka Online Academy, okay, so that you follow it regularly and improve your knowledge and get success in the competitive examinations. So today, friends, we will discuss the daily current affairs program. So the table of contents will be as follows. The table of contents will be as follows. Today we discuss about the Indian economy topic, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So it's been 7 years since the launch of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and it is a revolutionary program by government of India. So let us understand the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. What are the advantages to the people? What are the benefits to the people? And how much impact it has created in the lives of the people in India. And also we will see various facts. Why? Because you can expect a question, okay, from this particular area. Already they have asked a simple question in prelims 2015 question paper. That is, what is the objective of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana? Very simple. It is a financial inclusion program at the national level where all the citizens in India, okay, will be encouraged to open a bank account and be part of a formal banking system. So this is how it is. We will try to understand its importance, and it is a mains related topic. It is a mains related topic, and we will try to understand Samriddh scheme. Samriddh scheme, it is very important for prelims this year. Why? Because it is related to the startups in India. Then we have Horizon 2020, Horizon 2020, a research and development program of European Union, and its achievement, that is, they have very much close to coming out with a vaccine for curing the chikungunya disease, that is the BBV87 vaccine. So what is this? We'll try to understand. Then we try to understand about Deepor Bill, Ramsar wetland in Assam. Why? Because central government, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they have issued the ecologically sensitive zone notification for Deepor Bill wetland, which is present within the city, Guwahati city of Assam. Then if there is a time, we will try to discuss about the Afghanistan geography. Afghanistan, what are the border countries, what are the important rivers, what are the mines and minerals, which is the highest peak in Afghanistan, which is the longest river in Afghanistan. So all these things we'll try to understand. So let us start our discussion with the first topic, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana as part of the Indian economy. So see here, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, what is it? It is also called as National Mission for Financial Inclusion. National Mission for Financial Inclusion. In the name itself it is there, okay. What are the objectives? The objective is to ensure access to financial services. What kind of financial services to the people? Banking services, okay, savings, deposits, okay, deposit accounts, then remittances. People can send the money from one place to another place in India, okay. A migrant worker working in Hyderabad can send his hard-earned money to the people, to his family in some other state in India. That is possible through this particular, okay, opening of bank account under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Then credit services, insurance services, pension services are also part of this particular Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana scheme, and all these services are provided by the banking system in India in an affordable, accessible manner. Understand this very clearly. So you need to understand this. So pension services are there, insurance services, credit service, remittances, opening of savings and deposit accounts. So all these are part of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, National Mission for Financial Inclusion. So this is a mains article. Let us understand the things in a much more deeper manner. So see here, what are the objectives? Ensure access to financial products and services at an affordable cost. Understand this very clearly. Okay, in India, if you take more than 60% of the population, they are working in unorganized sector. Okay, that means okay, they are away from the formal banking channel. The idea is you need to include them financially within the banking sector, so that whatever they earn the money, that will be part of the formal banking system, and it will be safe and it will be useful for the growth of Indian economy. So this is how it is: the ensure access to financial products and services, then use of technology to lower the cost and widen the reach of financial services to the people. That's why if you see in the last 6-7 years, the financial apps like the Paytm, the Phone Pay, the Google Pay, they were allowed by the government of India in large scale to operate in India, so that what will happen is that the people will get good services, financial services or economic services. So what are the basic tenets of the scheme? Very simple: banking the unbanked. Whoever the people who do not have the bank accounts, let us open the bank account. Okay, basic saving bank and deposit account, BSBD account should be opened. Then this account should be opened with a minimum paperwork, with relaxed KYC norms, know your customer norms. That is, before you open a bank account, you need to submit some of the details where bank will come to know about the person who is opening this particular bank account. Know your customer. eKYC, account opening in camp mode, zero balance and zero charges for opening the account. So all these are basic tenets: banking the unbanked through these things. That means you need to open the bank account with a zero balance account, with no charges charged on the people, and the bank account is opened. Second is securing the unsecured. What do you mean by this? Securing the unsecured: issuance of debit cards for cash withdrawals and payments at merchant locations with the free accident insurance coverage of 2 lakh rupees. So whoever opens the bank account under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, they will get the insurance security, accident insurance security of rupees 2 lakh by the government of India. This is a very good benefit where the people can utilize it. Then what are the other things? Funding the unfunded means people who are not getting the credit in the formal banking system, okay, they will be getting the credit to this particular bank accounts opened under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. That you mean by funding the unfunded. Okay, understand this very clearly. As part of this, they will provide the micro insurance services, they will provide the pension services, they will provide the small amount of credit to the people, so that they can go with the economic activities. So this is there. Then what are the other things? Okay, the scheme was launched based upon the following 6 pillars. There are 6 pillars to this particular scheme. So what are they? Universal access to banking services. People can access the banking services via going to the bank branch, in the nearest bank branch, or through the services of banking correspondents. Understand this very clearly. Universal access to banking services. Then basic savings bank account with a overdraft facility of 10,000 rupees to every eligible, not all, only the eligible adults. Understand that very clearly. That too only to the adults. Then financial literacy program, third pillar, where the government is creating awareness in the people about how to get the credit from the banks. First of all, how to be part of a formal banking channel, then how to get the credit, how to save your money, and how to use this particular money for economic growth. So all this is financial literacy program, where promoting savings, use of ATMs, getting ready for credit, availing insurance, pensions, using mobile phones for banking. All this awareness is created as part of the financial literacy program. Then creation of credit guarantee fund to provide banks some guarantee against the defaults. So see here, people are saving their money and that money should be secured or guaranteed, and government of India will guarantee the money of citizens which people are saving in the banks. This is called as creation of credit guarantee fund. Then insurance facility is provided. I told you, accident insurance coverage of 1 lakh, life insurance coverage of 30,000, okay, to the people who opened the account between 15th August to 31st January 2015 is provided under this scheme. It's a very good scheme. Then pension scheme is also part of this, which is provided to unorganized sector workers. So 6 pillars of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Then impact, what kind of impact it created in the people, understand this, or in the citizens. So it is a foundation stone for people centric economic activities, definitely, okay. So understand this very clearly. So what will happen, whether it is direct benefit transferred to the people during the COVID-19 financial assistance, or whether it is, okay, sending the money to the farmers in India under PM Kisan program, okay, and whether it is, okay, sending the wages to the accounts of the people who are working in MNRGA program. So all this direct benefit transfer related funding schemes will be done through the bank accounts opened under the Jan Dhan Yojana. Understand this very clearly. Health insurance, life insurance cover, then all these initiatives now and also in future, they require a basic bank account, and that is done by this particular scheme. That means it is a foundation for all the people centric economic initiatives in this country. It started and it is moving on, and in future also it will be a foundation program for this particular economic activities of the citizens. So see here, the Jan Dhan provides an avenue for poor for bringing their savings into the formal financial systems, okay, and they can also remit their money to the families in villages, taking them out of the clutches of money lenders, okay. So very simple. See here what is happening. The poor people can save their money in the Jan Dhan accounts and become part of the formal banking system. And at the same time, what will happen is that, okay, they can send their money in the form of remittances to the families in other states and villages. So like that, okay. Then what are the other things? So it brought the unbanked into the banking system, expanded financial architecture of India, and promoted financial inclusion in India. It brought the unbanked into the banking system, it expanded the financial architecture of India, and it promoted the financial inclusion in India. So understand these things very clearly. Then what are the achievements? What are the achievements? Achievements are that as on 18th August 2021, number of total accounts were 43.04 crore, 55.47%, okay, are women. Understand this very clearly. So total accounts are 43.04 crore. In that, women, okay, accounts are 23.87 crore. So see here, women financial empowerment, women economic empowerment is happening with this particular Jan Dhan Yojana accounts. Understand this. Out of total bank accounts, new bank accounts opened, 23.87 crore belong to women. That is the greatest achievement, so that there will be women financial inclusion and women empowerment. Financial empowerment is happening through this scheme. These are all achievements. Then what are the other things? Jan Dhan accounts are opened in rural and also the semi-urban areas. Generally, the rural areas do not have banking facilities, but under this scheme, the rural area people are also getting the best banking services under this scheme. Then see here, during the first year itself, 17 crore accounts were opened, and if you observe, there is a continuous increase in the number of accounts that is opening every year. So as of today, we have 43 crores. In that, 26 belongs to women. Understand this very clearly. So let us understand some of the facts related to this particular scheme for prelims point of view. See here, the RBI guidelines say that If at all an account is not operated for 2 years, it will be closed. It will be closed. But under this scheme, there is some sort of relaxation provided to the people who opened the Jandan accounts. Then second is that, see here in August 2021, out of total 43 crore accounts, okay, 85% are operative. 85% are operative. That means people are using it for their economic benefit. And if you observe third point, there is a continuous increase in the accounts and the operation of the transactions that is happening in the accounts. Then what are the other things? Only 8.2% accounts are zero balance accounts. Okay, that means very less. Total deposits under Jandan accounts stands at 1,46,230 crore. So they all will be part of the gross domestic savings of the people in Indian economy. So it's a huge number, right? Okay, so see here, okay, so these are all the facts regarding the Jandan account. And see here, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan package for Jandan account women beneficiaries. So see here, this is announced during the lockdown, first lockdown of the COVID, okay, in India. So as part of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, into the women accounts, okay, rupees 500 per month for 3 months, okay, is deposited into the women accounts under the Jandan Yojana. See here how this initiative is helpful to help the people, really the poorest of the poor people in India, especially the women during the COVID times. So understand this very clear. Of course, the amount is very less, 500 rupees, but still it is a supportive kind of amount for the women who opened their accounts under Pradhan Mantri Jandan Yojana. So see here. Okay, so if you government is saying that a total of 30,000 crore have been credited into the accounts of women Pradhan Mantri Jandan Yojana account holders. So see here, all this information, they are all facts taken from the Press Information Bureau of Government of India website. You need to write these facts in the mains exam paper of a group 1 or the prelims, so that it will be helpful to get the good marks. Understand this very clearly. So pass the screen and just try to read them. Second topic I want to discuss is about the Samriddh scheme. Samriddh scheme, the recently launched scheme for prelims examination. So Samriddh means Startup Accelerators of MeitY. MeitY means Ministry of Electronic and IT and Information Technology for product innovation, development and growth. Samriddh scheme. If you don't remember the scheme full name, no issue. But remember for prelims, what is the aim of the scheme? What is the aim? Aim is to create a conducive platform for the Indian software product-based startups to enhance their products and secure investments for scaling their business. So very simple. Understand here very clearly. Software companies, they will be of two types. One is product-based software company. Second is service-based software company. Product-based software company means they come out with these software applications. Like for example, Google is there. Like for example, Google software company is there. It came out with Google Maps. It's a product. It came out with Google Pay. It's a product. Financial app, money transfer app. It came out with the Google Cloud. It is a product, software product. Okay, product based software company. Service based software company means they provide certain services. They do not come out with the new products. For example, a BPO company is there. Okay, which is dealing with the how to fix the issues in the computer, okay, whenever the computer is not working. So it is a service based company working in the how to fix the issues in the computer when the computer is not working by calling to the customer care online. So that is how the service based company is there. But here, out of these two software companies, the product based software companies, they earn huge revenue. They earn earn huge revenues and profits, like Google, Microsoft. Okay, all these are there. Okay, Google is there, Microsoft is there. Okay, they come out with different types of products, right? So like this. Okay, so if you, but this particular Samriddhi scheme, for what it is? For supporting the software product based startups. Understand that very clearly. Okay, so it is implemented by, so how they will help this particular companies? They secure investments for scaling their business. Understand that very clearly. There are various software companies coming up in the recent past. Okay, product based companies, many things are there. Okay, various things are there. Okay, to support them, the government has launched this particular scheme. Then implementation is by MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Startup Hub, MeitY Startup Hub. Understand that very clearly. Now see here, what are the key features? At first, the scheme will focus on accelerating the 300 startups by providing them customer connect, investor connect, international immersion in the next 3 years. Very simple, understand here. Government will select 300 software companies which are product based. Now what they will do? These 300 software companies, they will connect with the investors, global investors, who can keep the money, okay, into this particular software for development of this particular software company. Same thing, it will just link this particular company with the customers at the global level who requires the services of this particular company. Okay, the government of India will identify 300 startups, and they connect it with the investor, they connect it with the customer for the next 3 years. So within these 3 years, the company should develop on its own. Okay, why? Because government is identifying the investor and arranging the meeting between investor and this particular software company. It is identifying the customers and arranging the communication between customers and the company for the next 3 years by providing 40 lakh rupees. 40 lakh rupees is a very good amount to start a best startup with least infrastructure. Understand that very clearly. Okay, so this is how it is. Samriddhi scheme will work like this. Understand this very clearly. For example, I am teaching the class here in the online educational platform. So this is a service based company. How? We are not coming out with any new products. Already these things are there, we are using them and we are providing the educational services. That's it. We are a service based company. Product based company means it will come out with new products. Understand that very clearly. Samriddhi scheme is all about this only. Okay, understand this very clearly. So just try to catch this point. Samriddhi scheme to support the product based software companies in India for the next 3 years with an investment of 40 lakhs. 300 startup were identified, okay, in the software sector. So this is how it is. Now what is the significance of this scheme? A lot of significance is there. India is currently the third largest global hub, okay, with 63 unicorn startups having a total valuation of 168 billion US dollars. In dollar terms, India is the third largest startups related country in the world. That means the startups are coming in huge numbers in India. Government is encouraging the startups. Why? Because government cannot give job to everybody. Okay, and youth in India also should be job creators. They should not be job seekers. Okay, always the government cannot provide all the jobs. We need to start the startups, then we need to create the employment, but our ideas and our implementation, our reach to the people, okay, it should be of great, okay, it should be of very high, so that the software will be company will be successful, startup company will be successful. The program aims to further the Indian startup growth and create at least 100 unicorn software or startup companies out of the selected startups. So unicorns means what? Unicorn startups means they are big startups. Although they are started with small initiatives, they have a lot of impact. They can create a lot of impact in future. That is how it is. Understand this very clearly. Samriddhi scheme. Then I want to discuss about the international initiative Horizon 2020. So what is this Horizon 2020? It is a financial instrument. It is a financial instrument and research program of European Union comprising of the 27 European countries. Understand this very clearly. Horizon 2020 is a research program and a financial instrument program. Okay, understand this very clearly. So what it is doing? So see here, what it is doing is that it started in the year 2014 and it is continued up to 2020 and still it is there. So this program is allocated 80 billion pounds, 80 billion euros, sorry, not pounds, euros, where 80 billion euros from 2014 to 2020 will be utilized for research programs at a global level, okay, by 27 European countries of European Union. India is also partnered with this particular program. Understand this very clearly. Now what they did is that, so recently they have came out with what you call it as the manufacturing or production of the vaccine for the chikungunya disease. So since it is a research program, they have came out with the vaccine for chikungunya disease and it is in the final stage. So they have named the vaccine as BBV87 vaccine. So the vaccine which is under development for chikungunya disease. So this is part of the what you call it as Horizon 2020 program. Very simple. The Horizon 2020 program is started by European Union, okay, in the year 2014 and it will be continued up to 2020. The European Union comprising of 27 European countries, they started this program and the European Parliament, it has allocated, okay, 80 billion euros for this particular program. And what is the goal of this program? The goal of the program is to conduct the research on various issues and come out with the solutions for various problems. So chikungunya, it is a disease caused in the tropical countries, killing a lot of people including the children. So they did the research with this particular money, okay, and out of that research, okay, they have came out with the result called as the BBV87 vaccine, which is in the final stage of development for chikungunya disease. You need to remember only one thing here. Horizon 2020, what is it? It is a research program of European Union started in 2014 up to 2020, okay, with 80 billion euros contributed by European Parliament. India is also part of this particular program doing some research on renewable energy sector. But recently it is in news. Why? Because whatever the funding that is provided by Horizon 2020 program, they have came out with the new vaccine BBV87 for curing the chikungunya disease. So it's a new development. Although the topic is old, it is in news. That's why I included here. So this is the thing here. Then we will discuss about the next topic, that is the biodiversity related topic, Deepor Bill wetland. Why it is in news? It is in news because the central government, okay, has declared an ecologically sensitive zone or ecologically sensitive area around this Deepor Bill wetland. So what is this Deepor Bill wetland? Deepor Bill wetland, it is located in Assam. Near to the Guwahati city. Guwahati is the capital of Assam state, right? So near to the Guwahati city, Deepor Bill wetland is there, and it is the Assam's first and only Ramsar wetland. First and only Ramsar wetland. Remember this fact very clearly. Understand this also very clearly, right? So see here, Deepor Bill wetland, Government of India declared ecologically sensitive zone around this Deepor Bill wetland. Definitely you can expect a question from Ramsar wetland. Why? Because it is a Ramsar wetland. So see here, what is the thing, what happened to this particular Deepor Bill wetland. So see here very clearly, understand this very clearly. So just try to understand here, Deepor Bill, Bill means in Assam language wetland. Okay, understand that very clearly. It is very much near to the Guwahati city and one of the large and important riverine wetland in Brahmaputra valley of lower Assam, India. Understand this very clearly. And it is only major storm water storage basin for Guwahati city. That means whenever there is huge amount of rainfall in the Guwahati city of Assam, all that water will be stored in the Deepor Bill. That is only major storm water storage basin. Understand that? They are very much required for the cities. Okay, when they are not there, it will lead to urban floods. Understand this very clearly. It is considered one of the staging sites for migratory birds in India. And also it is an important bird and biodiversity area. Important bird and biodiversity areas. They are declared by BirdLife International at global level environmental NGO. There are more than 450 important bird and biodiversity areas in India. Understand this very clearly. So it is the only Ramsar site in Assam declared in 2002. Understand that very clearly. Okay. So this particular Deepor Bill wetland, it is famous for fish and other aquatic biodiversity, and elephants, Asian elephants are also there here. So understand this very clearly. So what are the threats? What are the threats to the Deepor Bill wetlands? Because of these threats only, the central government, that is the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, declared the ecologically sensitive zone around the Deepor Bill wetland. Understand this. So what are the threats? Garbage dumping. People are dumping the garbage into this Deepor Bill wetland. Why? Because it is near to the capital city of Assam. Railway line expansion project. So Deepor Bill wetland is there. From the borders of Deepor Bill wetland, railway track is already existing here like this. So government wants to expand this, and that is threatening the wetland. Illegal encroachment into the wetland. So people are slowly constructing the houses near to the wetland. Then pollution. So since it is near to the city, okay, storm water, okay, the municipal sewage, domestic waste, agricultural waste, industrial pollution, waste, water, all are released into this particular Deepor Bill. Unsustainable extraction of wetland resources. People are extracting more water from it. People are going for more fish hunting in this. Okay. Then stone mining, earth excavation. Near to this Deepor Bill wetland, there are some mountains like this. Mountains, small hills are there where stone mining is happening. Okay. And people are, whenever in summer season, the lake will become shrink. It will shrink. So people are just excavating more and more earth, excavating the earth from this particular Deepor Bill wetland. And why? Because it is a fertile land. Then what they are doing? Fragmentation of hydrological regime. Then siltation of the Deepor Bill wetland. Then encroachment and land reclamation. Okay, this is how it is. Species invasion, including alien species, new types of species, new types of fishes were added into this particular riverine ecosystem. Wetland ecosystem. Unregulated recreation and tourism. People are coming in huge numbers to watch this particular Deepor Bill wetland and destroying the ecosystem there. Over harvesting of resources. More and more resources are extracted. Climate change, unplanned urbanization. So all these are various threats to this particular Deepor Bill wetland. Keeping these threats in view, the government of India has announced an ecologically sensitive zone around this particular Deepor Bill wetland. Understand this very clearly. So this is a prelims topic. Nothing much is there here to discuss. Why? Because this particular Deepor Bill wetland, it is there in Assam. Understand that, near to the Guwahati city. just 10 kilometers to the Guwahati city, and it is a Ramsar wetland. That is the very, very important point here. And it is threatened because of all these activities, and the threats are there. Government of India has declared ecologically sensitive zone around it. So what will happen once an ecologically sensitive zone is declared? Simply the activities were regulated around the ecologically sensitive zone. There should not be any earth excavation, there should not be any stone quarrying happening, there should not be any dumping of waste, there should not be any pollution related activities around that ecologically sensitive zone, so that the Deepor Bill wetland is saved from all these threats. Why? Because this is a Ramsar wetland, and if you are not taking appropriate steps, simply the Ramsar wetland from India will be part of the Montreux record. So what is this Montreux record? So Montreux record contains the list of wetlands, that are threatened due to human activities, So this is how it is. Okay, so these are the important topics for the day. Okay, let us see this particular thing, what you call it as the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So I've discussed about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana and National Mission for Financial Inclusion. What are its then we discussed about what are the objectives, what are the basic tenets of the scheme, what are the 6 pillars of the scheme, what is the impact of the scheme, how it is useful, then what is the achievements of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in the numbers and facts. Then what are the facts related to the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So this is a mains article, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan package implemented with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, how it is implemented. Okay, then Samriddhi scheme by Ministry of Electronics, IT, Information Technology to support the product based software companies. Understand that. Okay, example, okay, I told you what is product based software company. So how it will work also I told you. 300 startups were identified. For 3 years the government of India will give 40 lakh rupees with connecting the investors with the startups and the customers with the startups. Significance of the scheme I already told you, that is the India is the 3rd largest startup growing country in the world. Horizon 2020, you need to remember only few things. It is a research and development program started by European Union in 2014 up to 2020. The contribution to this program by European Union is approximately 80 billion euros. It is a 7 years program. Under this program, different types of research activities are undertaken. India is also part of this particular program, where India is doing research in the renewable energy sector. And what is the achievement of this program? Recently they have came out with a vaccine, okay, for the chikungunya, and its name also I have given BBV87 vaccine. Then after that, Deepor Bill wetland, the Ramsar wetland in Assam, declared in 2002, and the only wetland, Ramsar wetland in Assam. Recently central government has declared ecologically sensitive zone around it, and that is how this is in news. Okay, I also discussed about the what you call the threats to this particular Deepor Bill wetlands. So these are the various threats to the Deepor Bill wetlands. So tomorrow we will see the Afghanistan geography. And try to understand the various things related to the Afghanistan, what is happening in Afghanistan, all those things we will see. So today I discussed only about the 4 topics, Samriddhi, Horizon, Deepor Bill. So tomorrow we will see Afghanistan geography and what is happening in Afghanistan also we will try to understand. So thank you very much. Follow this current affairs regularly. You will be benefiting much from this program. Trust me, it will be useful to you. Definitely it will be useful to you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.